everybody. Another day God has given us, bright and beautiful. I hope all our followers are watching, continuing to share and subscribe the different videos, different subjects we've been tackling throughout this TJKshares series. We are growing, and I thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed. I thank you so much for all of you who have commented and shared, and continue to do the same thing and keep bringing those subjects that you want to talk about. From popular demand, many of you have said, Director, Papa, Uncle, Jackson, CEO, TJK, please bring us more topics. And one of the topics many of you have suggested is financial literacy. Now, this came through people who know me very well, who know my father, Eric Kaguri, who knew my mother, Janet Kaguri, who knew where I grew up, and they have been following me, looking at the trajectory, how I have saved, what I have invested in, and now they are going, how did you do that? How come a man from a village who went to school using a fifth of a pencil can become successful financially and invest in so many different areas while making a difference in the world? Ladies and gentlemen, especially young people around the world, listen to me and listen to me today carefully. I am going to share with you how I have done it. I am not the wealthiest man you will find in this world. Nope. You have the Bill Gates, you have the Warren Buffett, you have the Jeff Bezos, you have the Tesla guys, you have the Facebook guys. Definitely, I'm not the one. But coming from Nyaka village, to be able to be where I am, to get the education I have gotten, to be able to read the books I have read, to be able to be the father I am, to be able to run an organization for 21 years, successfully, sustainable organization, Nyaka Global, it has to take some financial literacy. So financial literacy is the topic we are going to talk about today. Finances, money, cash money. And I know this is a subject that's going to attract so many people because we all want to have money for many different reasons. But I want to talk about building wealth, not just money to go buy your buddy's beer, buy your buddy's something to drink, not money to just spend and buy the best suit, the best shirt, best spend with your friends, go and spend. I want to talk about financial literacy. So we are going to talk about principles of savings. We are going to talk about how to get an emergency fund in place. We are going to share resources on where to listen to experts. I'm not a financial advisor, but there are experts out there, including my niece, Sharon Tumushare in Uganda, who works with Zeno, an investment company in Uganda, invests money for people and makes a lot of money for other people. And Sharon is my niece. Our fathers, her brother, her grandfather, her grandmother never knew anything about what we are talking about now. So the first thing you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, is to have compassion for you and understand that what we are going to share with you today, you can learn it. It's not something you are born with. Saving money and financial literacy is not hereditary. It has nothing to do with your genetics. Anybody can do it. You just have to be patient and learn. So financial literacy for you young people, the experience of saving money. If you are from a family that talks about money, you are already a step ahead of us because your parents can teach you. And this is what I have done with my children. We will address how to teach your children money, how to handle money, your relationship with money. We all have different relationships with money. So my father has nothing, zero knowledge on financial literacy. My mother didn't either. They raised 5 of us, didn't teach us a thing about money. All we knew is money is there, daddy sells a goat, has money, mommy sells beans and matoke, has money. What they do with it after there, we don't know. All we knew was they paid school fees for us, and now I am sharing with you the repercussions, the effects, the return on investment Mr. and Mrs. Kaguri shared. Didn't sit us down and share with us, but because he invested in me, I'm giving you free education. Free for you. So your experience with money has nothing to do with how you were born, how you were raised. You can learn it. And I learned it, and I teaching my children, all 4 of them, how money is saved, how money is passed on to others, how to make it, how to spend it. So, and I will also bring in experiences, because after running Nyaka organization for many years, the reason Nyaka has continued to be successful is because we know how to account for money. Anyone who has ever given a donation to Nyaka, and this is public, anybody can listen to it, knows that we will account. Accountability means you give us money, we won't wait until we need more money to come to you and tell you what your money did. We receive your money, we acknowledge we received it, we spend it on a program you designated or general support, and we come back and tell you what that money has done. We account for the money. If for some reason something happened between when it left your hands to our hands, we will tell you. That's called credibility. We make sure we are credible enough to tell you what happened to your money if anything happened to our money. But we've been successful in a way that we account for the money. So Nyaka has done a great job, ladies and gentlemen, to do accountability, to be a credible organization, and also to stretch $1. We get the money in $1 forms, donated from somebody in Indiana, Bloomington. We take it to Uganda, it becomes Uganda shillings. We stretch those dollars and use them in shillings to make a bigger difference. So for those of you young people who are listening to me from Uganda, $1 Uganda, USA American dollar, will change to 3,800 Uganda shillings. That dollar in the United States won't buy you lunch unless you go to McDonald's on a Tuesday when they have a sale. But generally, you can't sit in a restaurant and eat lunch for $1. But when you have 3,000 and go to Chihi town, at the lady I know in Chihi, you can eat your matoke, get your chapati, and get your soda for $1. So which means $1 that can't feed you a lunch here can feed you a lunch in Uganda. A beer in Uganda is 3,000. So for those of you beer drinkers in America, the 6-pack that you pay all that money, you can just take $1 and buy a huge Nairo special beer in Uganda. But that's not why we are here. Financial literacy is why we are here, and Nyaka stretches the dollars, which is why we have been successful in making money. So Nyaka has invested money, has stewarded the people who support us. We have created a microfinance fund within Nyaka that makes sure that all 20,000 grandmothers are getting money and they are spending it and investing part of it so other women can get, but they can make also wealthy. We have also created different businesses in construction through our vocational training, one in tailoring through vocational training. We've created a savings credit union within the staff members. They have a fund where they can borrow and also pay back. We have taught them financial principles and respect for money and relationship with money, so much that everyone who borrows from the staff circle pays back. By paying back, you're guaranteeing somebody else to also get the same money and go invest it. Some people have an attitude about money that, oh, now let me borrow from Jackson. He lives in America. He's going to not miss this money. No. Every person, what you borrow, pay it back. That's how you create honesty. That's how you get to be reliable. And so our staff members borrow, pay back. I borrow from that fund and I pay back. But we have also taught our students, old and new, how to save, how to pay debts on an everyday basis. If you take a loan, pay it back. You have to be a person that is reliable and can do this. And this leads us into building generational wealth. So the principles I've taught my children, and I will start from there, is to save. Regardless how much money you have, you must always save. You can save 1 shilling, you can save $1. If you are my friends in Korea, you are earning money in Korean money. If you are wherever the world, whatever you make, save a little. Make an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey, who I listen to a lot on podcasts, free podcast, Dave Ramsey. You might not agree with some of the things he will say or agree with some of the principles he gives, but he encourages us to work as grandmothers. Grandmothers who always have a fund called a rainy fund. In the rainy season, what am I going to use? If my glass is now broke, what am I going to do? So save emergency, put it on the side. Don't touch it. That's your emergency fund. But also have a bucket. So I've taught my children to have a bucket of give what you give away, spend what you spend on yourself, but the important one, also tithe and save. So you get money, let's say I give them $5 each. I have 4 children. Nicholas is older. $5 is nothing to him. Let's say I give him $50. I would like him to give some to God. I would like him to give some to other causes that he cares about. I would like him to be able to spend some of it on himself and also to save a little bit for future. So my mother and my father never taught me how to save. They didn't know any financial principles. As I grew up and went through university and got to Columbia University, I started reading about finances. New Vision in Uganda. I know many of you who are listening to me are from Uganda. New Vision in Uganda has a section on business. Many of us grab that paper and go to sports. Arsenal, Manchester, Man U, whatever, Man City. We are more concerned about sports than we are concerned on wealth and business tips. Read that section for business. Read about how people have invested, whether they are raising chickens, whether they are raising goats, whether they are raising cows, whether they are border association. Read about it. If I had not read about finances, I would not even be talking about this subject. I go to read papers, I go to read books, I go to attend seminars, I read blogs, and that's how I learned how to build wealth. I have invested in land, I have invested in real estate, I have invested in stock market, I have invested in rental houses, I have invested in so many different areas, but those are investments that are related to me and my limited knowledge. During these episodes, which we will introduce soon, one-on-one with TJK, I'll bring you Sharon, my niece, who is in Uganda, Zeno Investments. She will teach you that as soon as your child is born, you can create an account in Uganda. But she also knows this because she knows I paid for her education. I saved the money. Before I even had biological children, I had nieces and nephews. Sharon, her brother Stephen, her sister Sandra. After their dad died in 1996, I became a responsible uncle to pay school fees for them. But when my biological children also started coming, the moment a child would be born, I would start a fund, an investment fund. In the USA, they allow you to invest in what is called 529 fund, which means you can invest and you don't pay taxes on the funds as long as you use them for education. So, and the child, all four of my children were born. Nicholas, I started the fund immediately when he was born. And now that fund has helped me to pay his education in college. Nolan has his own fund, Talia has his own fund, Tessa has his own fund. So you might have come from a background like mine where nobody taught you how to do this. But guess what? You have no excuse not to learn yourself and start now. I started and I am giving you a testimony right now. That's number one. Save. Number two, have an emergency fund. We know that we all have issues and have relatives and have people who will contact us for money. You have to be able to say no and leave the emergency fund intact. If you are in the United States, I encourage you to have $1,000 emergency fund. Set aside. But before you do the emergency fund, again, Dave Ramsey does this so well. You can listen to his podcast. Make sure you come out of debt. Pay your debts from the lowest to the biggest. If you have a debt somewhere, except house, sometimes also cars, because we in America, we finance houses, we finance cars. You can wait on those big ones, but if you have a credit card debt, if you have a store Macy's card, pay it. Once you are done paying it, cut your cards out and pay cash. Cash is different. It feels different. It hurts differently. When you are paying with a card, you feel differently. So try to use cash. Have an emergency fund, and after you've done emergency fund, don't you start investing in stock, in treasury bills, in whatever you want to invest in when you are still in debt. So many times, the interest they charge you on your debt is more than what you get on your savings. So there you go. It's never too late. Start early and build wealth for generations. Many people, for me where I grew up, say that I don't want to create my wealth and then leave it behind when I die. That is a selfish motive. You need to be able to create wealth that will surpass, go beyond you. The people who find you, which is why people write the will. I have left however much money. I would like so and so to get some. I would like Nyaka to get some. I would like my children to have some. I would like my relatives to get this. But most importantly, make sure you're leaving something that's called legacy. I travel a lot and I meet a lot of billionaires, dollar zillionaires, who have built wealth one step at a time. There is never a better time. The better time is now. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, share, spread the message, and comment, because guess what? At TJK, we know and we believe the best is yet to come. I thank you for listening. Share some of the principles you know that we haven't shared here, and we will continue to bring you this. My personal experience again, my parents didn't know anything about money, but I learned about it through reading books, research, joining investment clubs, and you can do the same starting today. Don't wait. Thank you.